Welcome back to my channel, guys. Welcome back to PAX. Hopefully my dogs aren't too distracting in the background. It is the middle of the day. There's, people out still shoveling their driveways. I just got in from shoveling the driveway. Whew, I'm worn out. I've got a hot cup of tea here. My favorite right now is oolong. It's my favorite hot tea right now. Yummy, yummy. To try to warm myself up. Sorry, hold on. Kind of like Tito was trying to tear through my window there. Sorry about that. All right, we are on chapter 7 of PAX today. I did miss uploading a video yesterday. I'm doing my best to keep up with it. So I apologize about that, but I will go ahead after this and record a picture book if you're interested. Nobody really showed interest in the live stream. I think it's got 3 views right now, no comments, so I will not be doing the picture books as live streams currently. If that's something you'd be interested in, let me know in the comments what time, what day works best for you, and maybe we can figure something out. But as of now, that's not in the cards. All right, we're on chapter 7 of PAX. We're not on chapter 7. Hold on. I've got my questions um out of order here. We should be on chapter 9. Sorry about that. Anyway, chapter 9, PAX. Approaching the meadow from the forest above, Gray stopped suddenly, nose in the air. Again, he lifted his muzzle to test the scent more carefully. Stronger. Pax, already hesitant, tensed. Gray hurried to the edge of the trees. A loner is challenging me. He wants this territory, but his display is for the young vixen's benefit. She will choose a mate this winter. Pax followed and took in the scene below him. 4 foxes dotted the meadow. Bristle and Runt stood together. Their black-tipped ears pricked forward warily toward the other 2, who faced each other on a ledge of rock, halfway down. One of these was a vixen, darker than Bristle and big-bellied with kits. The other was a large male with rough tawny fur. His hackles were up and his left ear was split. Gray barked to announce his presence. The challenger spun off the ledge. An arc of blood sprang from his ear and bolted down the meadow. Gray picked his way down the hillside, Pax following as Gray passed Bristle and Runt. His very presence seemed to calm them, as if he were an unseen hand stroking their backs. As soon as he passed, Runt danced his excitement at seeing Pax, but Bristle curled a lip and hissed. Pax hurried after Gray. When Gray climbed to the ledge beside his mate, Pax dropped to its base and sat respectful. Gray's mate greeted him with affection. Then she shared news. The wind this morning was from the west. It brought the scent of fire. We must move soon. She looked out at Pax, the outsider smells of humans. Bristle and Runt edged closer, ears cocked toward Gray's response. He is returning to the humans he lived with in the south. I will travel with him to search for a suitable place to move. He and I will rest, then leave tonight. Behind him, Bristle growled again, and Pax felt the urge to run. His boy. He wanted only to find his boy. But instinct told him that he needed rest and food first. He signaled his agreement, and then Gray and his mate glided silently into the green meadow. Runt bounded over and tumbled into Pax. He dropped the toy soldier from his cheek, inviting Pax to play. Bristle jumped between them and swatted the toy away. Humans, remember the danger. Runt retrieved the toy and displayed it between his teeth, defiant. Pax sensed that Runt was now in more trouble than before, and that he was the cause. He'd felt that way often with his boy and the father. and one of his strategies had been to disappear, if that would protect his boy from the man's anger. He backed away, but Bristle was not satisfied. "Stay away from the human stinker," she warned her brother. Remember the danger." Pax took a step closer. "My humans are not dangerous." Runt seemed alarmed by this, as if Pax had issued a challenge. He darted uphill toward his den entrance, but his sister was quicker. She blocked him, and when he tried to slink away in another direction, she restrained him with a heavy paw until he stilled in defeat. "All humans are dangerous." Pax's fur ruffled in a shiver at the scene Bristle conjured then. Wind, cold and howling, and heavy with the threat of snow. Pax recognized that the wind, the story she was about to relate, would end with blood on the snow and cold steel jaws. Bristle bared her fangs at Pax and then began. I am going to go ahead and read chapter 10 today as well, but before we do that, chapter 9 questions. How does Gray treat the challenger in his territory? What does he do? Why do the other foxes accept Pax's presence when he comes back with Gray? And what do you think is the reason Bristle doesn't like humans? Yeah, she's very against them, so I wonder why that would be. Another sip of my oolong, and then we'll read chapter 10. Delicious. All right, chapter 10. At the jog in the wall where he'd seen the deer, Peter stopped. There was blood already. He'd stumbled and ripped open the tender web of skin at the base of his thumb on a jagged splinter, and buckets of sweat. His arms trembled from the strain of lifting his weight for only these few minutes. His palms already raw on the rubber grips, and the throbbing in his right foot menaced like thunder. But none of that was what was wrong. It wasn't even the prospect of returning to his grandfather's grim house. He was going in the wrong direction. He wheeled around, he stabbed the ground and swung over it, stabbed and swung until he planted himself in the doorway of Vola's barn again. He drew himself up tall. No. Vola's head snapped up. She saw at him a warning scowl. But on her face, Peter read a flash of something else, fear. "I'm not going back," he said more firmly. "Whether you help me or not, I'm going to get my fox." "Help you?" Peter moved to the bench and hoisted himself up. "Teach me. What you said about moving from my arms, about getting strong. You learned how to get around on one leg. Teach me. You were a medic. Set my bone, please. I'll do whatever you tell me to do." He picked up the cider and drank it down to show his trust. "Then I'll leave. But even if you won't help me, I'm going to get him." Vola put her hands on her hips and lowered her head to eye him. "A tamed fox, set loose in the wild. You know he may be dead, don't you?" "I know, and it would be my fault. If he's dead, I need to bring him home and bury him. Either way, I'm going to go back to find my fox and bring him home." Vola studied Peter as if she were seeing him for the first time. "So which is it? You going back for your home or for your pet?" "They're the same thing," Peter said, the answer sudden and sure, although a surprise to him. "And you're going to do this no matter who tries to stop you, because it's the right thing for you at your core." Vola made a fist and thumped her chest. "Your core. Is that true?" Peter waited before answering, because this woman, maybe crazy, maybe not, had asked it as if the fate of the world depended on it. but the answer was the same as it could have been, as it would have been if he'd blurted it out. The answer would have been the same if he'd waited a lifetime to think it over. He thumped his own chest and felt the muscle of his heart leap. Yes, in fact, there's nothing else I know at my core. The woman nodded. Well, you're 12. That's old enough to know your own self, I expect. I'm not about to go messing with all of that. So all right. You'll help me? I'll help you. Vola extended her hand to shake on 3 conditions. All right. 2 very short chapters today. I did go ahead and just make sure that that was correct. But we're going to stop there. I know it's kind of a shorter video, but I did read 2 chapters. My questions for you for chapter 10. Why was Peter angry when he returned to Vola? Why was that the emotion or the feeling he was experiencing? What did he ask her to do? And what does Vola mean by the question, because it's the right thing for you at your core? I also want you to make a text-to-self connection here. If someone like Vola were to ask you, what is the right thing for you at your core? What is at your core? What do you feel drives you as a human? Like Vola said, Peter's 12, and she feels that's old enough for him to know his true self. And people do grow and get more wise and learn things as they get older and experience things. But you right now, I want you to reflect. Who are you at your core? What is the thing that drives you? What is your moral compass? And I hope you enjoyed those 2 very short chapters of PAX with me today. If you're looking for some more story time today, I will be recording a picture book, and I will post that shortly after this is uploaded. Thanks again for spending time with me. I hope that you are staying warm. If you are pretty much in at least 2/3 of the United States and some other parts like Canada, I think, as well, experiencing this crazy winter storm. Be careful, be safe, and stay warm. And maybe have some tea or hot chocolate. All right, I will see you next time. Thanks for joining me. Bye.